Welcome back, everybody, to another fantastic episode of the Every Pokemon Episode Ever podcast. Or, if you follow us on social media, EPEEP for short. So, it's not just me today. I'm Wrestling Chris G. I guess I should say that. But it's not just me today. We actually have two people that's going to be joining. And the first of two is my good old co-host. He is the punchy one of the group. It's good old Dougie Fresh. Dougie, man, how you doing?
You are not going to get "It's Not Just Me" over.
I will.
You've tried that a couple times. It's not going to get over.
It will.
It
will.
I doubt it.
Wait until we get to an episode that you're not going to want to review, and I got to do it on my own. Damn it.
Well, nobody wants that. I mean, don't threaten me.
But also joining us, he has his own Twitch channel, and his name is Ben. Ben, you are the very first guest on the podcast. Yeah. So, if you want to give a small background on you.
Sure. Hi, I'm Ben. I run the Cooperators, which is a kind of a grouping of entertainment, including my Twitch channel and a couple podcasts, including the Cooperators Viewers Couch, that we talk about movies and TV shows, as well as the Pursuit of Platinum, where I talk about different PlayStation 4 games, soon to be PlayStation 5 once I can get a hold of one. My history of Pokemon, I watched all this stuff when I was a kid, like when it was coming out week by week. Huge fan of Pokemon ever since I was little. I played almost every game with the exception of the Switch one. And yeah, like it's funny because when we were talking about episodes to jump onto when you brought this one up, because this was one of my favorite episodes as a kid. And it was the first Poke Rap I ever memorized.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Way back when. I think I still know, like, the second half of it. But yeah, like, it was the first one I ever, like, really memorized because I loved it so much, and I loved this episode, so.
Nice. Yeah, it's actually pretty funny. I was in the 4th grade, and we had a show and tell project, and mine was I had a talent where I brought the CD of Pokemon into class, and I did the entire Poke Rap.
Oh, dang. That's awesome.
So we could both nerd out to that.
Yeah. I think I was about the same, too. I think I was grade 4 at that point as well, so yeah.
So on this show, we like to go back in history and give specific things that has happened on this date. So on this episode aired October 9th of 1998 in the U.S. and in Japan aired September 16th, 1997. But we like to go with the U.S. date unless there's something controversial that happened on that date, then we use the Japan date. So Dougie Fresh, as you do every single week, it seems like on an occasion of 1 or 2 weeks, you beat me to the chase to this one, so go ahead, and what do you have for the table today?
Oh, you mean you don't have like an obscure baseball fact from 1919 that you're going to read verbatim and just to get me one time?
You know what? That was a good history moment, Doug.
It sure was, and you read it perfectly.
Yes, I did. I read it verbatim, and I beat you, and I was the first one that week, so
Yeah.
So what do you have for this date on October 9th?
Yes, well, in the natural order of things. So on October 9th, 1941, President Roosevelt approves the atomic program, which will later be termed the Manhattan Project, which introduced the first nuclear weapons into like combat. I mean, this is during World War II.
Oh, and, so the first bombs?
Yeah, basically, and obviously the two, I don't want to say crowning achievements because they were fucking devastating, but the two big ones that'll be remembered for are the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which I believe the effects are still felt in those cities in some capacity to this day. I mean,
holy crap! Yeah, I just Googled it right now. Whoa, sad.
So I mean, and you know, obviously, yeah, you're not wrong in saying that it's sad, but it's also historic, because I mean, you're talking warfare, and I mean, yeah, I mean that's pretty significant, I would say. So
All right.
that one just caught the old eye, and I was like, well, it's 41, and I doubt I'm going to be scooped, and I wasn't. So
No, you were not. But mine is going to be a little shorter because mine's kind of sweet and to the point. But on this day in 1986, the late night show with Joan Rivers premiered on Fox. And a side note, she was the very first woman host in U.S. late night TV talk show.
yeah, she had done a few fill-in appearances for Johnny Carson. And that was kind of her foot in the door. And then obviously, Fox at that time was a new network, so they were just trying to find programming.
Yeah, and she definitely found her footing because I mean she was even I know her more from watching the E channel when she was on there.
Right.
So but yeah, that's my historical moment. And before we get into this episode, Ben, I want to ask you something because maybe me and Doug both missed something at some point. But okay, these episodes when we're looking over these dates says that they came out Monday through Friday as brand new episodes. I do not remember at all. I remember I don't either. I remember waking up on Saturday mornings watching the kids WB and having and watching the episodes then, either on a Saturday or a Sunday. And
yeah, I don't think they came out daily, and maybe that was like different in Japan compared to like the US, and I'm from Canada, so in Canada, but no, it was always Saturdays for us too. It was just that's what you did on Saturday morning. You watched Pokemon, the new episode, and then you talked about it on Monday.
Yeah, and you talked about it with your friends, and just you collect the cards, which for some reason I guess the cards are making a comeback. Like I'm seeing so many like actual celebrities buying old Pokemon cards and making it a thing again.
Oh wow.
So, yeah. So but yeah, this week's episode is Primeape Goes Bananas. And Dougie Fresh.
Yes.
Would you happen to know who the Who's That Pokemon is of this week?
All right, now there's a 50-50 shot, which scares the crap out of me because it bit me a couple weeks ago, and I'm still steaming about it. Well, okay, first of all, when is this? This is going out.
This is going out on, let's see, it's the last Saturday in January. So if I go ahead and use the time warp, actually, no, it's not the last one. It's January 23rd is when this one's going out, the second to last.
So hopefully that inauguration went off.
Yeah.
Let's be hopeful for a couple months from now because it's kind of still crazy around here right now.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So it's a 50-50 shot. You got to go with the guy whose name is in the title. I got to go with Primeape.
Okay. Yeah. You're 100. You were about to be pissed off if it was fucking Mankey.
Yeah, no, I was gonna leave for the week. Y'all could just hand me this is ridiculous.
So, all right, we can go ahead, and if everyone's ready, we can go ahead and start with the nice review of this episode. Is everyone ready?
Yep.
All right. So this week we actually started this episode, and you called him off air, Doug, a dick, and I'm gonna second that. But Professor Oak was a complete dick at the beginning of this damn episode.
He had no chill. He had absolutely no chill.
Sitting here, and Ash calls him up, and he's all excited. Freaking his Krabby's bringing over the telephone. It looks like Professor Oak is drinking some tea or chai or whatever he was drinking, and Ash is on the phone, and he's all excited, flashing his 4 badges, and Professor Oak is like, "Oh, well, you only have 4?"
Such a dick move.
So
like
I'm saying, like
he's like a 10-year-old kid, and he's so excited that he finally got his 4th badge. And Oak is just like, "Nah, you're not that good. Everyone else is way better than you."
Yeah, everyone's already passed through different cities. They've already got 5 badges. And and by the way, I'm just gonna put my foot in this even more and say that Gary has 30 Pokemon. What happened to you, Ash? I haven't gotten anything since you're Krabby.
Yeah, and I'd like to talk about that, Krabby, for just a second, because this is one of my major bones of contention.
Okay, what's up?
Because after the Bye Bye Butterfree episode, obviously it's established that Ash had 6, but with Bye Bye Butterfree, Butterfree is off, doing his Butterfree thing.
Yeah.
So Ash has an open slot, right? I mean, I'm not crazy. So why are we not saying, instead of just having your Krabby be your damn butler, bring him over?
Yeah, and for real, like he's looking at Krabby in the video. Krabby's basically saying, "Okay, I'm here.
I am a Pokemon.
I saw your face come across the caller ID. I'm right here."
And maybe it's just he doesn't like Krabby. I mean,
But he
Krabby's
caught
not that
him.
great of a Pokemon to start with.
But he's not going to get any better if he's just sitting there doing poetry with Oak and bringing him the phone.
Being a little slave. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Like, that he actually has an open spot and he wouldn't take his own Pokemon, like, to train them. He's just like, no. Professor Oak has it.
I had to pause the episode and walk away. I was like, this is ridiculous. Like,
So, all right. So it's after he ends up talking to Professor Oak and he gets all steamed. And he's like, I'm gonna pass Gary. I'm gonna get more badges and I'm gonna get more Pokemon because I'm gonna become a Pokemon master. He starts walking away from the phone, which is in the middle of nowhere. I might want to add, like it's just in like there's just desert field all around him, and then he's walking back. And this is what I love. I love that they call these rice balls donuts.
Donuts. Oh, it bothers me so much. Every time I watch it and look at it, I'm like, there is a name for these in English, right? Like, you don't need to call them onigiri. Just call them rice balls. That's what they are. They're not donuts. They don't look anything like donuts. It bothers me so much.
Nothing.
It's such a small detail, too, but it just made me so angry.
I mean, that's kind of as bad as them taking, because and we're not there yet, but when Brock finally leaves Pokemon for the first time and they replace him with Tracy, the reason they did that was because they were scared that Brock was going to be perceived as a racist character. So they just took him away without even throwing a poll out there. Hey, do you guys like Brock? And Brock is now the most seen, like, reoccurring character in Pokemon to this date.
Mm-hmm.
He is his longest traveling partner in Pokemon. So it's just little details. Like, I don't know, maybe they thought we were stupid here in the States or just wherever you're watching Pokemon. But yeah, these are rice balls.
well,
I wouldn't have cared.
It kind of goes into my kind of pseudo catchphrase that I've kind of said a lot more recently. You got to remember, it is a kid's show. So maybe they did think we were stupid.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh.
Yeah, especially because a lot of, my city is definitely primarily Asian. But for the most part, if you go outside of the major hubs, a lot of Asian culture just isn't there as much. I've gone to kind of the middle of nowhere Canada, and it's just white people. So maybe
okay.
they didn't think that we would know what they were if they said it, and kind of we can all relate to donuts, I guess. But as an adult, I'm just like, oh, guys, come on, we're not that dumb.
Yeah, for real. So Ash is coming back, and Brock is so happy. He's so famished that he created this brand new recipe, and he's trying it on everybody. Not only did he create these donuts for humans, he also created them for the Pokemon, which the Pokemon were nicely enjoying. And then just out of nowhere, we see a Mankey coming out of what was it? It came out of a
bush, yeah.
Yeah, behind a rock.
Yeah. And this Mankey was just all sorts of happy. We're going to see a big turn pretty soon, but this Mankey came out and he was just all sorts of happy. Doug, you want to kind of go over this part?
Yeah, so, an important thing to remember here is Ash turned his cap serious, so or his cap backwards, so he's serious, and he's in his little I'm gonna get any Pokemon that I see in the next 5 seconds mode, and
Caterpie.
Well, it's a Pokemon he's never seen, which means, of course, Dexter has to make an appearance. And, the Mankey comes right up to Brock because, maybe the Mankey will like a donut. And I'm kind of at the scene where Mankey's kind of looking at Pikachu kind of for reassurance, and Pikachu's just scarfing his. So Mankey runs to the top of a tall rock, and he's just chowing down.
Oh, he loved it, and he looked at them and was just like, "Hey, I like it." And Brock is just happy. He's like, "Yeah, I'm glad he likes it. This was a brand new Pokemon donut that I made, and it looks like the Pokemon are loving it."
And so Ash says, "Well, I'm not going to miss my chance." And he, because who only fools apparently battle wild Pokemon. So Ash says, "Well, here, have a Pokeball." And Mankey's like, "No, sir, you have a donut." And
okay, is Ash kind of a dick for throwing this damn like this Mankey is sitting there enjoying its meal. It has no problem with Brock, Misty, or him, and he's just there just enjoying eating up on this. And then Ash is like, "I'm gonna catch him while he's eating his food." Like what? Like Brock, where are you, Brock? You saw him going into his mode.
Yeah,
Brock was getting
let him enjoy his food. Also, if you're not going to fight it first to get it tired, at least go behind it to throw the Pokeball. It would have been so much easier if you just hit it from behind instead of just throwing it so that Mankey was like, "Nope, donut."
Yeah, he basically said, "Hey, Mankey, here's a Pokeball." He's like, "I'm not feeling it, fam."
But let's not jump over the fact that Mankey has a good arm and just was like, "Okay, no, you're not going to get me. I'm going to throw this donut," and just threw the entire donut into the Pokeball. And Ash grabbed it and was like, "A donut?" And Misty had no chill. She's like, "Oh, you caught a donut Pokemon."
Now, I immediately thought of you, Chris. I immediately thought of you, and I want to ask, because I know you're current. Is there actually now a donut Pokemon?
No.
Ah, damn.
That's just kind of surprising. They have everything.
There would be. I really, because isn't there like a trash bag Pokemon now or something?
Yeah,
there's a chandelier.
A chandelier, a ring of keys, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm like,
we have, but no donut Pokemon. Nope.
Well, there will be now.
Yeah, we're throwing it out there in the universe. It'll be in the next gen.
Yeah. And it'll be a little cute donut. There'll be a bite taken out of one of the top corners and shit.
So with the Pokedex, I don't want to jump too far ahead, but is it always this unuseful that it gives half the information and then once the bad stuff actually happens, it talks more? You think you would have told him about Thrash right at the start, so maybe he wouldn't have been a dick?
For real. Okay. So I kind of within these last few weeks of doing this, because this Pokedex has just been like a dick. I know you haven't heard yet, but we just finished the trilogy with with Ash getting his Marsh badge from Sabrina, and his Pokedex was worth nothing. It was oh, this Pokemon is just a gas or is filled with gas. No further data required. I was like, what? But I've kind of put two and two together that, okay, Professor Oak is he's a smartass.
Yes.
And he's the one that created this Pokédex, which kind of puts two and two together. Okay, he's a smartass, so he's going to put kind of his smartassum into this Pokédex. And maybe he gave Ash the most smartass one because he was late. And was like, "Here, I'm just going to give this to you, and whatever Pokemon you find, good luck." But I kind of feel like because Ash gets smarter Pokédexes later on in the series, and it's just this one, he never has one that's like this ever again. So I'm sure he's very happy about that. But yeah, he after he opens the Pokeball and the donut is inside of it, Mankey jumps off of this rock, hits eyes are now bloodshot red, and he is in a fighting position. And then the fucking Pokedex goes off again to tell him that once Mankey is angry, and if you look at him in his eyes, that he will continue to thrash until he's basically done thrashing. Like, what? You couldn't have said that like 5 minutes ago?
Yeah, so Dexter is serious. Because Ash wasn't asking him questions. Dexter just felt like he needed to volunteer that piece of information just at that particular moment.
Yeah. Well, no, he did. Because when.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. Because he goes, now what do we do? Yeah.
Yeah, because Misty was like, he looks pretty angry, and that's when Dexter is just like, oh, yeah, when Mankey has a really big temper, and when he has a really big temper, you don't want to look him in his eyes, and he will continue to thrash until he's done. Basically, I was like, yeah, I'd be scared shitless when this happens.
Well,
so
Ash just doesn't have a good history with throwing random shit at Pokemon.
No. That's true. Let's look back to the Sparrows in the first episode.
So it's at this point, Ash and the gang just starts running away, and this Mankey has good agility because he is keeping up with them, and he is not getting tired. Ash is holding on to his hat to make sure his hat's not flying off because he stupidly kept it backwards.
Oh, it's still serious.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but not serious enough to actually use any of his Pokemon to defend himself and his friends.
No. What kind of trainer do you think he is? He's just, he's.
Yeah, like he has, and as you said at the beginning, Doug, he has 5 Pokemon. Why didn't he just have Pikachu just zap it and just have it run away?
Or fast forward the episode about 15 minutes, and I don't want to jump ahead, but it's even more dumb.
Yep.
So okay, and I kind of blame Brock with this one because I'm gonna freeze frame it right here. They're all running, and Brock gets the idea. Okay, this Mankey has no chill. He's running after us. I'm gonna take this donut and just throw it at Mankey. And as soon as he throws it, Mankey just swats it out of the way and is like, "I'm still gonna get you," and just like has no chill. Like, and then Brock gets mad that he wasted a donut,
which is his own fault because he's got to know that Mankey at this point has tunnel vision. He doesn't give a crap what you're throwing at him. He's gonna get you.
But
yeah, it also looks like he actually trips up the other two, which makes Misty get hurt by the Mankey and then lets him catch Ash. Like, Brock, why are you being such a dick to your friends?
See, I don't know if he got tripped because I replayed that a couple times because it was funny. I don't know if they got tripped or if this was just like the anime fall because Brock originally says go Pokeball and then they do the anime kind of like Ash did when Oak said that oh, you only have 4 badges? Ash did the same thing.
So yeah, but okay, how pissed off would you be at this point? Okay, so Misty falls and she just gets terrified and she covers her face. She's like, okay, I'm going to take this beating. It's going to hurt. But I'm just going to take it because I can't get up and run. And Mankey just gets up and just face plants her into the ground by jumping on top of her head to get after Ash.
Big Mario fan.
Yeah, just straight Koopa Stomp.
Yeah.
So, and Brock has enough nerve. Okay, so Mankey is now on top of Ash. Okay?
This is right.
And Brock has enough nerve to go, Ash, are you okay? And Ash is like, of course I'm not okay.
That's
like,
my favorite part. That's.
I don't know if you've freeze framed this, but in the middle of the fight too, his leg is up above his head.
Yeah.
He's just getting contorted all over the place.
Oh, I'm freeze framing this right now. Oh, ouch.
Yeah.
Mankey is just like, I'm gonna beat you. And Pikachu, what the hell? Okay, so Ash is already used to getting shocked by electricity at this point. Why is Pikachu just standing there acting like he wants to grab Ash's hand instead of thunder shocking this damn Mankey? I'm so mad at Pikachu in this episode because he was so stand-up-ish in the last episode Why is he so scared now?
Pikachu is a selective pacifist.
Maybe he actually thought that Ash deserved it after throwing the Pokeball out of nowhere.
Then he threw a donut at him, for goodness sake. You could tell Pikachu was trying to make a connection with this Mankey, and Ash just says, "No, you're every other Pokemon in the world. I'm gonna catch you." Because he's so used to freaking Charmanders and Squirtles just literally jumping into his Pokeballs.
For real.
For goodness sake.
So, at this point, Mankey finally finishes beating up Ash, which seems like in the anime was probably for about 5 minutes because Ash is like dead on the ground. And Mankey goes over and jumps into a tree with Ash's championship league hat, I guess. And we're about to find out how he got this hat. But I'd be pissed off too. You just took my hat, and then Mankey goes and freaking mocks him and puts it on backwards, and it's like, oh, I'm serious, Mankey now. Like, what? Oh, it's about to go down.
Yeah, it's about to go down.
I was laughing.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, you're right. I'd be mad too, because at this point, with as much as we've watched in the show, Ash doesn't have much of a personality outside of occasionally being a dick. So Primeape takes the freaking hat. I mean, that's like taking his personality. He's just another dude. Now he doesn't even have a hat.
So, hey, Ben, and I don't want to step all over. Do you want to go over this next part with Team Rocket looking over at the gang and them getting ready to scheme?
Yep. So, of course, we get Team Rocket, like every episode, looking in. This is actually, fun fact, this is the first time they actually call him Twerp in the series.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you noticed that before, but yeah, it's the first time they call him Twerp. And
nice catch. I didn't even catch
that. Yeah, they're just talking about, like, getting the Pikachu, like always. I don't know why they're so obsessed with this thing. Like, I know that they've talked about it in the series before, but, like, at this point, is it really worth all the effort you're putting into it? Like,
I mean, they're just watching Pikachu level up, and they're not leveling up at all, and that's why they keep getting beat.
Is it only noticeable because? And I'm sorry to cut you. Is it only noticeable? Is it only noticeable because Pikachu's out of his Pokeball?
Maybe, or maybe they just see that if Giovanni had this Pikachu, because okay, let's pause the review real quick. If Giovanni actually had this Pikachu and he made Pikachu evil, how useful would Ash's Pikachu actually be?
Not very.
That's hard to. Yeah, probably not very, because I imagine he would have been forced to evolve into a Raichu. Because I would imagine somebody like Giovanni wouldn't have the patience to
train a Pikachu.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Because unbeknownst to us, I mean, as this series is going on right now, because this right here, this is episode 25, so we're not too far off from when the movie is actually going on. So in Giovanni World right now, Mewtwo is being cooked up.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
and that's unbeknownst to everybody. So I can only imagine Jesse and James bringing Giovanni this damn Pikachu, and Giovanni just getting pissed off like, you've been gone for months and you bring me back a Pikachu?
And like just a single Pikachu too, not like all kinds of like different things, just like a single Pikachu that just keeps somehow beating them because they have a Meowth, a Coughing, and a Ekans, like 3 of the worst Pokemon in the game.
Yeah, but the Meowth can talk. That's got to be worth something.
Well, not really.
Don't want him.
Apparently, he wants a Persian.
Well, he's got a Persian. I mean, that's that's evolution. That's all that.
Yeah.
Is.
But yeah, they're looking over at Pikachu, and they're scheming as to what they're going to do next, and then out of nowhere, Meowth just shows that he has the attention span of a cat, of course, and while they're scheming up everything, a ball of yarn just comes out of nowhere, and Meowth is just on the ground playing with the ball of yarn like any regular old cat would. So, just thought that was funny.
Yeah, I thought that's pretty funny too.
Yeah.
But as they come out, they completely ignore Team Rocket, the main gang, and the Mankey just keeps making fun of Ash, pretending to throw a Pokeball at him.
It would have been
so
funny
good.
if he had a donut.
Oh, that would have been so good.
It would have been so much funnier if he would have had a donut.
Oh man.
Like if he would have just kept, like if he would have caught that donut that Brock threw instead of demolishing it and just
Oh,
kept it in his mouth
that's
and then
it.
just took it out of his mouth and just chucked it at Ash.
That's it.
Here we also learn about the hat being the official expo of the official Pokemon League. I guess he had to send in, like he said, 1 million postcards.
Yeah.
And Misty comes around and she's like, "Oh, I only sent one of those in. No wonder I didn't win." I was like, see that, like, Misty is me when it comes to contests, and like the other one's like my girlfriend, who just sends in like all kinds of like tags and all kinds of stuff, and I'm just like, I'll take a person. We'll see.
We'll see how this goes.
Take a shot, you know.
So at this point, Ash is mad and he goes and hops onto the tree where the Mankey is and just tries to climb this tree to get the hat from Mankey. And here comes Team Rocket.
Yeah, because Ash gets basically gets drop kicked out of this tree
By Mankey.
and Mankey's just got a smile on his face the whole time. And you know, Team Rocket shows up, and you know, poor Ash is still upside down.
Yep.
Yeah. Mankey,
Not having a good day.
Mankey has been kicked into the bushes, so shit's about to go down.
Yeah, can we talk about that? That is so rude. This is the second time James has kicked a Pokemon and then had it evolve and attack him.
He's got the Magikarp.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's got like a magic boot of anger.
He forces Pokemon to evolve just by, I wonder how many more, because I'm so far ahead in the series to actually think back if he's actually booted any more Pokemon I have. I wonder if that's an actual running gag that I'd never really realized watching these back.
I hope so.
And then if it doesn't happen one time, you go, well, that's because he used his left foot on that one.
But let's point out the fact that when James booted Mankey this time, Mankey lands just like Ash landed out of the tree, and they're both like flat on their head.
Right.
I just thought that was funny that they got that shot in, and Mankey and Ash are just the same. So after this, Team Rocket does their motto, and Mankey evolves into Primeape, and that's when good old Dexter makes another appearance in the episode, basically saying you do not want to look this Pokemon in the eye, and once this Pokemon is mad, it is impossible to get it to not be mad. I was like, oh, well, you're some help, Dexter.
Yeah.
Doug, you want to go?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, Jesse kind of immediately shifts plans because to fend off the Primeape, they call out Coughing and Ekans, and Primeape comes up from behind Jesse and sucker punches her, basically javelins her into a rock. And then, she comes up, she's all black and blue. She goes, okay, change the plans. We're going after that Primeape. So they send... Because they messed up her perfection. Yeah. And this is the second episode in a short while where Jessie was just taking unnecessary shit to the face. She was a couple episodes removed from getting a Pokeball thrown at her full-fledged.
And getting her hair caught on fire.
Exactly. So she just hasn't had a good couple days. So they say, okay, change your plans. We're going to go after that Primeape. So Coughing and Ekans jump in. Jesse jumps in. James grabs Meowth by the hand. They jump in. So it's 3 people and like 3 Pokemon. And it's just this big rugby scrum, apparently.
Yeah.
And the hat goes flying. And Pikachu says, "Oh, this is my chance.
I'm gonna go and grab it
because maybe that'll get Ash to shut up for a second."
Yeah. And Primate's pissed.
So he goes over to pick up the hat, and Primeape jumps in front of the path, and we get a unnecessary crotch shot. I will say I didn't
lingers.
I didn't need that. Like I was just trying to watch this show before we hopped on here. I was upset.
It lingered so long too, and it kept like going back. It's like, oh no, don't look at the face. So let's just look at his crotch again. I was like, what are you doing, guys? Like,
yeah, I mean, they really got that over. I mean, Ash was very clear to say, don't look it in its eyes, Pikachu. So Pikachu's, I mean, obviously I get the gag, but I just didn't need it. And unfortunately it didn't work.
But Pikachu is an electric mouse Pokemon. Why the hell is Pikachu not thunder shocking this damn Pokemon?
Well, we're about to see that it's not going to work.
Yeah, just a couple seconds, we see that it doesn't work at all. Like, he's like, does nothing to it.
He just shakes it off. He doesn't even shake it off. He just absorbs it.
Yeah. And then Mankey just takes his foot, kicks up Ash's hat, and just places it back on his head. And this Primeape is the happiest Primeape because now he has Ash's hat, so he's going to taunt him some more.
And he gets to chase him, and then, he gets to jump over Team Rocket in a heap.
Mm-hmm.
And, Primeape is just tearing after Ash. Ash is booking it like faster than we've seen him book before.
Oh.
Well, him and Misty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that Brock ends up getting punched by getting all up in Primate's grill.
Yeah, because he tries to play Dr. Phil.
Yeah, he tries to become friends with this Primeape who is pissed at all of them. Like, what do you expect is going to happen here? Like
he
you
puts his
threw a donut at him about 10 minutes ago, Brock.
Like, he puts his sociology hat on and goes, look, think about it. Primeape took the donut, or Mankey took the donut. He was happy. But then you threw a Pokeball at him, which made him upset. Maybe he's not necessarily that mad at us. Maybe he's just a little scared and just, he took your hat to get attention. Maybe he just wants and then he goes over and he tries to put his, he puts Primate's arm over his, and he basically just gets worked in the back. And he's like, knock it off, this isn't fun.
And it's and at that point, as you said, Doug, Ash just goes running like for his life. And what the hell, Misty? Misty just goes and hides behind a rock, looks around the rock and sees Ash just running. Here comes Brock back up again. They don't go freaking chasing right after Ash right away.
Well, he got himself into that mess, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I got very little sympathy for Ash in this episode.
Yeah, honestly.
Like, if he just, let the Mankey be, none of this would have happened. He would have been fine, kept walking.
And there's other Mankeys. He could have probably, we see at the end of the episode, there's other Mankeys. He could have gone somewhere else and maybe not thrown a donut at him, and maybe he would have gotten one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because he's got Pokecatcher ADD, and he just has to go with what he happens to see at that particular second.
So, at this point, Team Rocket is digging yet another hole. This is just their.
It's so random.
This is the runner. This is.
I'm so tired, and it's not gonna. It's already old, but just waiting till you see how many more holes that they dig in future episodes. But Team Rocket is digging another hole again, and Ash goes and runs into the hole, and he's like, "Why is this hole here? Oh, it's Team Rocket."
Though I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed with their digging skill, because they were behind Ash and somehow got ahead of him and were able to dig this 6-foot hole in probably a matter of minutes.
Well, they're
that's
used
pretty
to it
impressive.
Now. They're used to it now.
You know what? I wouldn't put it past them that they use freaking Ekans to burrow holes in the ground, and they just take out the leftovers. I'm starting to think that.
That's a possibility too.
Make Ekans useful.
I know. It's the only thing he's good for. So, all right.
So they're in the hole, and they kind of have the hole. It's Team Rocket, and freaking James pops up and goes, "Hey Pikachu, why don't you come over here and take a ride on my head?" I was like, I didn't need that. Nobody. That's just uncalled for. I'm just sitting here trying to watch a cartoon. And, Ash calls for the Thunder Shock.
Like he couldn't have 15 minutes ago.
Well,
Mhm.
exactly.
I mean, he did, but it was too late.
And of course they're in a cramped hole, so he gets everybody. And then Ash has the indignity to go, "Well, not me. Like he's on your head. What do you?"
Have you not learned the rules of Pikachu? Like Pikachu is still a baby Pikachu. I mean, okay. And I'm going to pause this again. And this is just me putting too much thought into a Pokemon show. So we know Pikachu has a pre-evolved form, which is Pichu.
Right.
Has Pikachu not perfected its Thunder Shock from a Pichu to a Pikachu now to where he can aim his damn Thunder Shock at one specific thing? Like he's not a baby anymore. Like, I mean, in this episode, he's still considered a baby because nobody knows what a damn Pichu is, but come on.
Well, now, if we're allowed to take our cues from the movie that went out about a month ago,
Yes.
we see that Pikachu's kind of unruly in that opening scene there. He's kind of running, he's kind of got run of the lab, basically.
Yeah.
So, maybe this was a case of Oak going, well, I'm going to catch you, but I don't know what's going to happen after that.
That's true.
Yeah.
Now, and I don't know if I even told you, a couple weeks prior to this episode premiering, so the last episode in December, we reviewed Pokemon the movie I Choose You.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So that's the nice little holiday treat that everybody's getting on the last Saturday of December.
Oh, that's awesome. I can't wait for that.
Oh, it's a ball. You're gonna
Yeah, it
love
was really fun to record.
Have you seen that movie, by the way?
I have, yeah. I've seen almost every Pokemon movie, which is surprising because I kind of dropped off from the show a little bit, but I still watch the movies because when they came out, it was always just a fun journey.
Yeah.
Nice. I jumped on the bandwagon again. I would have to say back in April, I found someone online that had the complete series up to right before Journeys, and they were selling it online, and I was like, I'm totally buying this DVD.
Oh,
set.
dang.
And I've drove my family nuts. Like my son, he sits there, he's like, oh, you're watching Pokemon again? Yet this boy is all over Pokemon Go with me, and we've caught like 10 different Lugias right now, and he has 2 shinies of them, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna put this game down until the next legendary comes out now. Like he's that kind of player.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
So, all right, but back to this episode after our spiel. Mankey jumps into the hole, basically scares the crap out of Ash to where Ash is climbing out of the hole, which made no sense because why didn't he go after the hat? But climbs out of the hole. Mankey jumps out of the hole, has some good hops, and just stands right in front of Ash, just scaring the mess out of him. And at this point, what happens? Ash and Mankey meet eyes.
Yeah, and we have a flash of what Oak said in the phone call at the beginning of the episode, talking about how poetry doesn't matter. How did he say it? What did he say? Poetry doesn't matter without rhymes, and a good trainer doesn't matter without Pokemon. Or
Yeah,
something
like
along.
that.
Yeah, I mean it's in the ballpark.
Basically shaming Ash for not having enough Pokemon.
So Ash kind of gets Eye of the Tiger here, or I suppose Eye of the Primeape. I'm not proud of that one. And he's like, well, all right, Primeape, it's you and me 1-on-1.
Oh,
And-
this was my favorite.
Yeah, and Misty's kind of like, you could, kind of rah and Ash. Brock is for some reason behind Misty, which let's not let that skate by. And then Ash miraculously remembers he's got a belt full of Pokemon because out comes Squirtle.
Okay, so Squirtle was the wrong Pokemon for him to choose because he brings out Squirtle, who does not have a very strong water gun yet. And when he's spraying water gun at this Primeape, it literally looks like Primate's getting a bath, and it's just Primeape just gets pissed. Ben, you wanna go after?
Oh yeah, just the fact that he like actually does like the anime go full red, but instead of just his face, it's his entire body. You're just like, oh geez, like this is just gonna turn into such a bad thing for Ash.
And then Misty at that point jumps behind Brock. She's like, wait a minute, hold on. I'm in front of you. No, you get in front of me.
Oh geez. So then he sends out Bulbasaur next.
Yes.
And we learned that Bulbasaur somehow learned Razor Leaf in the between episodes.
Yes. But it's a weak ass Razor Leaf.
So
yeah.
He's just like batting them away.
That was the weakest. I had a problem with that because Bulbasaur wasn't moving. It's like he just learned this move like maybe 40 minutes prior to meeting Primeape, and was just like, oh, I'm so proud that I learned this move. I'm just gonna let these leaves fall out.
Well,
and I'm like, what?
Don't wait just a cotton picking second here. Don't blame Bulbasaur. This is a reflection on the trainer, and we've established in what we've watched, Ash is not a good trainer.
No,
he's not.
The man has lucked into his belt full of Pokemon, basically. And
it's true. Most of them just surrender.
Yeah, and we're about to learn that Ash doesn't even know his own Pokemon strength. We're about to find that out in about 2 minutes here.
Oh yeah.
And I understand he's 10 and he's only been going for, what have we figured? Maybe like 3.5 months, maybe. But
yes,
at a certain point, sit down and go through your Pokédex and maybe write some things down.
Learn your Pokemon's moves, which we're about to find out right now.
Or have a chat with Brock, have an in-depth chat with Brock and Misty where you're not walking to the other town. You've got
he's got 2 trainers, or 2 gym leaders.
2 gym leaders following you around,
and the foremost Pokemon expert at a beck and call whenever he wants to pick up the phone.
Yes.
And let's not even throw away the part where Ash literally has all 4 starter Pokemon.
Yes.
He has the 3 originals plus Pikachu. Like, bro, like you have them all. Like,
maybe he should have 5 badges.
Maybe
he probably should.
Maybe he should have more than 6. Well, 5.
Then again, he should also have an evolution past the first that he didn't catch for more than 1 Pokemon that he released.
Yes.
Yeah, and let's not forget he just happened to catch that wild Pidgeotto.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he didn't even catch a Pidgey and evolve it. He just, there's a wild Pidgeotto, which isn't a thing.
Okay, and he barely uses his Pidgeotto.
And he barely uses it.
Yep.
So, I'm going to fast forward into, I'm going to go back and forth between the future and the present right now. So, Charmander comes out of this damn Pokeball and is trying to flamethrower Primeape and is missing dramatically. Like, Primeape has very good agility.
Good
then he gets
speed.
And then he gets punched in the face. Like,
bunch.
Charmander, when he evolves into Charmeleon, this is where I'm going into the future, and he becomes the teenager version, and he doesn't want to listen to Ash worth shit.
Which
it
still bothers me.
It's moments like this that I'm like, okay, well, I kind of don't blame him because half the time that you use Charmander, he's getting chased by water. Oh, he's getting chased by water again. Oh, you sent him out against an evolved Pokemon and you barely use him anyway. Now just aim at him. Okay. Oh, I forgot to train you how to aim. And now you're getting punched in the face. Like, I don't blame Charmeleon.
When he's out there running away from water. Oh, look how cute. He's running with his tail in front of him. Yeah, because if he gets his tail wet, he fucking dies, which because you had to save him. And then, here's, it's a dark space. Oh, we'll call out Charmander because we need a fucking pisses me off.
Flashback. Actually, you know what? Now I do understand it more because I never really thought, because I've got to be honest, with Charmeleon, whenever he was like a dick to Ash, I was like, didn't you like love him when you were a Charmander? And just because you evolved, you're not like a new thing. Like you still remember what you were. But
Exactly.
that makes a lot of sense because they were kind of a dick to Charmander.
They really were. But what kind of bugged me a little bit more was the fact that once he got Charmeleon, he has like what at this point? He has like 5 or 6 badges at this. In the video game, if you have that many badges, your Pokemon, well, that evolves for the first time, should still be listening to you because your own. What was the cap for like 5 or 6 badges? Like what, 35 or 40 that they'll obey you?
Something around there.
I think so. Yeah.
Something like that. Okay,
Which would
well,
be a Charizard, I think.
yeah,
Point?
yeah. He
would
he
be
evolved into
Charizard was
Charizard
like
at
in the 30s.
36.
36. Okay.
Yes. So he should have easily have been listening to him, but I mean, watching the anime, I kind of get why Charmander or Charmeleon did not listen to him because he just gets his ass kicked like hard by this Primeape.
Yeah, he's getting worked. He's getting
Oh,
worked
yeah.
like an early Mike Tyson opponent. He's just getting, and you could, and I kind of not fooled, but I was kind of confused. Like I thought this was the evolution. I was like, this doesn't feel right.
Oh, when the flame got bigger.
I was like, this doesn't feel right. And then they're like, oh, this is rage. I was like, this is rage. And Ash is sitting there going, I didn't know he had that kind of. Yeah, you probably didn't, did you?
Yeah, I don't think my viewers would have either, because I don't think Charmander or Charmeleon ever learned Rage.
Right.
No. So he goes in, and then even after he's getting ready to do Rage, Primeape just goes in and just starts, as you said, Doug, Mike Tyson his ass. And I'm like, oh my God, this is about to be really bad. And then just goes in and gets ready to fire blast this Primeape. Now, Pikachu dramatically makes the save for this hat. But how mad would you be if Pikachu did not grab this hat and the hat that he's been trying to get back the entire episode just got barbecued?
Well, he'd only have himself to blame because he was the one that put Charmander in the position where he was getting worked to get fired up, if you pardon the horrible pun, to the point where he learned Rage, to the point where he did barbecue this Primeape.
And he was happy as can be. Like,
the pose after
is
fantastic. I got a freeze frame on it.
He just hands on his waist and just looking up like,
you know who he looks like right there? He looks like Walter.
Oh, he does.
Just
he does.
Pure. But yeah, so Ash is like, well, Primeape's barbecued. I might as well catch him. And so he throws a Pokeball. Pikachu's got the hat. We're all happy. He throws a Pokeball, and it does the wiggle.
And it's all dramatic. Is he going to break out? But he doesn't.
And then the light goes away. So we think, all right, he got him. And then it starts wiggling again. And we're going, all right.
All right.
I didn't know that the Pokeball could do that, but all right.
But then it almost seems like they needed a couple more seconds for the episode, so they just replayed the clip. They're like, oh, no one will notice.
They just replay the animation. Yeah, nobody's going to break this down in 20 years or whatever the fuck.
So, Ash does his whole, I caught a Pokemon pose. And
which he should be proud of this one in a way. I mean, even though it was the most dickheadish way of getting there, he did legitimately do work. But there again, this is Ash catching an evolved form of Pokemon. That he well, no, because James kicked him, but he started the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. And Primeape has not forgotten because here comes Team Rocket out of the little hole. And what does Ash do?
The dick again.
Yeah, instantly.
Because
that smile.
Because they go, what happened to Primeape? And Ash goes, why don't you find out for yourself? And he just over his shoulder. And he goes into the hole, and then we get friggin' Primeape with the hops, and he works Team Rocket, and they blast off.
Okay, And I had a problem with this scene, and maybe you guys caught on to it as well as you both were watching this. Where the hell did burnt up Primeape go? Because for what I know, just going back into your Pokeball does not automatically heal you.
Shush.
That's a good point. I actually didn't notice that.
It's the last minute of the episode. Nobody's paying attention.
We need a happy ending with Team Rocket blasting off. But
and then Ash kind of has a line where he's like, "Well, at least Primeape going crazy on our behalf," and he gets a black eye for his trouble, and then Primeape's literally standing on his chest like Ali, like literally.
Yeah, like
I am the greatest.
So just wait until he has to send Primeape back over to Professor Oak. I wonder if Professor Oak will know how to handle this Primeape.
And here's another question: why? That's 6.
Yeah.
Keep him. You got a full deck. Now you have a reason to keep Krabby. Now you
yes.
He's just stupid.
And like the Primeape's good against every trainer going forward.
Yes. And he said, and Ash himself said when he saw Mankey the first time, he's like, "Oh, a fighting type. That'll really help me in battle." Like, do you not? He has the memory of a goldfish.
He does. So, all right, it's at this point, we're towards the end of the episode, and Pikachu runs over to the edge of the cliff of where they are, and there it is, Celadon City, where Ash will go to fight for his next badge to hopefully get it very quickly so he can try to surpass Gary.
And apparently catch up with the other 3 people from Pallet Town.
Yes.
Who, according to Oak, have already been through Celadon City.
But do we ever actually meet those 3? Or is it just Gary that we ever meet from that original?
So I believe we end up getting hints as to who these trainers are, but it's never fully out there as to who these trainers are. So, yeah. Well, at least not so far as to what I've seen so far, but I'm only on Battle Frontier right now in the series, so I have no idea who these other trainers are. I can actually do a quick Google search right now. So, Doug, you want to close out on the rest of this episode?
Yeah, so we get the trio running off to Celadon, and then our little postscript, basically, because we get a nice shot of the skyline, and then we get Team Rocket landing, which we don't often see. So you know immediately that's bad, and then we look up and we see that Team Rocket has landed in a den of primates. And
yes.
it fades up from there, and we can only assume it just goes horribly wrong.
Oh, yeah.
For Team Rocket.
So,
I feel bad for them.
A little bit, yeah.
According to Bulbapedia, besides Gary with his Blastoise, we do not ever end up really finding out who these other trainers that got Charmander and Bulbasaur are.
Oh, okay.
See, and that's frustrating. Like, you would think, like, to the point, like, where they actually are in the series, you would think they would, like, have an event where they would bring the trainers back home and they would have, like, a trainer appreciation day or something where you get a parade and you get all 4 trainers just on floats, and then maybe we have like a round robin tournament kind of thing to find out who is the best in Pallet Town, and we get, maybe it's too obvious to have Ash and Gary in the finals. Maybe they go in like the semis or something. And, we actually meet the other, we meet the other 2 and we can flesh them out. I mean, but that's just me sitting here.
Yeah.
Because I think you meet people with like the other starters, I believe, going forward.
Yes.
It's just these starters that you don't actually meet the other 2.
Correct.
Right.
So, but yeah, that's the end of the episode. And what an episode it was. I have to admit, I'm glad you picked this episode to come on to, Ben. Like I was watching this, I was like, this is the perfect episode to have our very first guest.
Yeah, it's great. Like, again, like one of my favorites as a kid. I always had Primeape on my team. Even though I didn't actually use him that often, he was always there. But I always had like a weird team, including like a Sandslash who would always be on there, and for whatever reason as a kid. But yeah, no, it's great. I had a great time. I had actually, there's just one thing that bothered me at the start that I totally forgot to mention. It mentions that Gary has 30 Pokemon.
Yes.
But in the last episode, I believe, Mystery of the Lighthouse. Is that the one before this?
Let's see.
it was
the one right before this was Haunter versus Kadabra.
Okay, so during the Mystery of the Lighthouse, which I think is farther back, it actually says that Gary has caught 45 Pokemon.
Oh.
And for some reason, he has 15 less now?
I did not get
I didn't
that.
catch that.
Yeah, so
good
it's
catch.
Yeah, it's a ways back in the series, but it was like, when I heard 30, I was like, that's really weird, because I've been like keeping up with the podcast and then like watching along with it. And I was like, what? How did he lose 15 Pokemon? And how has he not gained any new ones from that point to this point? Like, Gary's actually supposed to be competent.
Yeah. he went and released his Pokemon. Unbeknownst to us.
He said, well, this is just too many. I don't want to rub it in.
But yeah, that was the only, like, one of the big things that I noticed in this one that I was like, oh, that's really weird. Why they would do that.
That's a solid catch. I didn't.
I honestly, I had no idea. So I'm glad you were the one to point that out. See, Doug, I think having guests on the show going forward, they will catch things that we don't catch.
Well, yeah, it's nice to have another set of ears.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, that's this week's episode. I do want to thank you, Ben, and I hope this isn't the last one episode that we have you come on.
No, I would love to come back whenever you're ready, especially for like the movies. If you ever have like a movie episode you want a third voice on, I'd love to come back for one of those.
Okay. Me and Doug will. What'd you say, Doug?
That would be really interesting.
That would.
A third voice on a movie.
That would.
Yeah, so, that's kind of like where I've been at for reviews lately. We did a whole bunch of series of movies recently, so I'm very much into the longer form as well.
All
right. Well, hey, Ben, I'm going to give you your time to shine here on the podcast. Do you want to throw out there where people can find you and any of your social media or anything?
Yeah, for sure. So you can catch me on Twitch most days. I have my schedule up there. At the co_operators or twitch.tv/the co_operators. You can also catch us each week live for the podcast that we do, as well as on Spotify, Amazon, iTunes, everywhere like that, at the Cooperators Reviewers Couch. If you want to listen on Anchor and give us a voicemail response, we'd love to hear those. We'd love to get feedback from everybody, and that is anchor.fm/TCRC. Other than that, you can catch us on social media. We have Facebook and Instagram at the Cooperators and Twitter at operators_the co.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on, Ben.
Thank you so much for having me.
This was fantastic.
This was a lot of fun. A great way to like get my evening going.
Awesome. Well, we're glad to have you. And like I said, I hope this is the last episode that you do with us. So I will stay in contact with you.
Yeah, guys, whenever you want a third voice, just send me an email and I will jump on to whatever episodes you want me to do.
All right.
It's such a good time.
All right. Well, I'll have you give a good old goodbye to our audience, Ben.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. This has been the Every Pokemon Episode Ever podcast, or on Twitter, #EP.
EP. Yes.
EP. Make sure to check them out each and every week, and make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get the new episode each and every week.
Awesome. And Doug, go ahead and say your goodbye, Doug.
Goodbye, Doug.
And this is Wrestling Chris G telling all of you, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you again next week with Pokemon Sensation. Oh, it's a gym episode. So awesome.
Good one.
Next week, yeah, good episode. So next week we have Ash going after his next gym badge. So see you next week, everybody. Have a good night.